You can tell everything about a person's financial life by what they do on a Sunday, not Monday. Not a workday when everyone is performing the same routine. Sunday, the day with no obligations. The day that belongs entirely to you. Because here's what nobody talks about. Wealth doesn't just change your bank account. It changes your time. It changes your choices. It changes what Sunday morning feels like when you open your eyes. A person worth $500 and a person worth $500 million both get the same 24 hours today, but they will spend them in ways so different. They might as well be living on different planets. Today we're walking through every level of wealth, not through numbers and net worth figures, but through the most honest lens possible. How you spend your Sunday? Level 1, survival mode, net worth under $1,000. Sunday doesn't feel different. The alarm goes off at 6:45 a.m. Not for work, for the second job. The one that fills the weekend gaps the Monday to Friday job couldn't cover. At level 1, Sunday is not a day of rest. It is a day of catch-up, financially, emotionally, physically. You're working a shift, or recovering from the week hard enough that you can barely move. The laundry has been waiting since Thursday. The fridge needs a run to the discount grocery store 2 bus stops away. There is no brunch. No leisure scroll of vacation rentals. No gym class at 10 a.m. Sunday at level 1 is survival dressed up in a day off. And the cruelest part? You're so exhausted by the time Sunday night arrives that the anxiety of Monday is already setting in. The cycle never fully stops. There is no rest at level 1. There is only preparation for the next round of survival. The people here aren't lazy. They are trapped in a system that consumes every resource they have, including their Sundays. Level 2, financially stressed. Net worth $1,000, $10,000. The Sunday Scaries are real. You slept in. That's something. Sunday at level 2 looks normal from the outside. You're home. You're resting. Maybe you make breakfast instead of buying it. But underneath the surface, the mental math never stops. You're calculating this week's expenses against this week's paycheck. You're checking your bank account more than once before noon. You told yourself you'd meal prep today, but the motivation isn't there because the stress is sitting too heavy on your chest. The Sunday Scaries, that specific dread that creeps in around 4 p.m., hit hardest at this level. It's not just about Monday. It's about the bill that's due Wednesday, the check engine light you've been ignoring for 3 weeks, the credit card balance that went up again this month instead of down. Level 2 Sundays have leisure in them, but the leisure is tainted. You can't fully relax because the financial pressure never fully lifts. You might watch a movie, scroll social media, order food once because you deserve it and then feel guilty about the $14 delivery fee for the next 2 days. Sunday at level 2 is rest with an asterisk. Level 3, financially stable. Net worth $10,000, $100,000. The first real Sunday. This is the first level where Sunday starts to feel like it was designed for you. The emergency fund exists. The bills are covered. The immediate financial panic has quieted enough that your brain can actually be present on a Sunday morning. Instead of running worst-case scenarios, you wake up without an alarm. Make coffee at home. Real coffee, the kind you actually like. Maybe you go to the gym or take a walk. You meal prep not out of desperation, but because you've decided to take your health seriously. At level 3, Sunday has structure that you chose. Routine built around your actual preferences rather than your financial constraints. You might spend $40 on brunch with a friend and not think about it twice. You might browse a travel site and actually save a destination instead of just closing the tab with a sigh. The treats are still moderate. The choices are still calculated. But the calculation no longer comes from fear. Level 3. Sunday is the first Sunday that feels like yours. And that feeling and that quiet, unremarkable freedom of a Sunday, without financial dread, is something people at level 1 and 2 would pay almost anything to feel. Level 4, wealth building. Net worth $100,000, $500,000. Sunday with options. Sunday at level 4 has one defining quality. Options. You could stay home. You could go out. You could drive somewhere for the day or fly somewhere for the weekend. None of these choices require a financial conversation with yourself first. The morning is slow and intentional. Maybe a workout, a good meal, time with family. The afternoon has space in it, real space. Not the kind you steal between obligations. At this level, you're likely doing some form of productive leisure on Sundays. Reading about investing. Listening to podcasts about business. Not because you have to, but because you're genuinely engaged with building the life you're starting to see take shape. Your phone still buzzes with work notifications occasionally. You still have a Monday coming, but the relationship with Monday has shifted. You have savings. You have investments growing quietly in the background. You have options, and options change everything about how a Sunday feels. Level 4 Sunday is comfortable, confident, calm. Level 5, high net worth, 500,000, 2 million. Sunday as a lifestyle. Sunday at level 5 looks like what most people think rich means. You wake up in a home you genuinely love. The kitchen is stocked. There's no mental calculus about whether you can afford the organic groceries or the good coffee beans. Maybe you have a standing Sunday reservation at a restaurant your family loves. Maybe you take the boat out if you have one. Maybe the kids have activities and you watch them from the sideline with the rare, quiet satisfaction of knowing you built this. Work exists, but at level 5, many people have reached a point where their work is something they chose rather than something they were assigned. Sunday feels like a buffer they control, not a countdown to something they dread. Travel is casual at this level. A long weekend trip doesn't require 6 months of saving and planning. It requires a calendar check and a booking. Level 5 Sunday is what financial freedom actually looks like in practice. Not a yacht, not a private jet. Just a day. Completely, fully, peacefully yours. Level 6, ultra high net worth. $2,010,000. Million Sunday without limits. At level 6, Sunday has no ceiling. You might fly somewhere for the weekend and not as a luxury, but as a casual decision made Thursday afternoon. A villa in Italy. A ski weekend. A beach house you own or rent without looking at the price. The people around you on Sunday have been carefully chosen. You're no longer spending time with people out of proximity or obligation. You're spending it with people you genuinely want to be with, because your time is now too valuable for anything less. Business still exists at level 6. In fact, many people at this level are deeply engaged in their work. Not because they need the income, but because the work itself is meaningful to them now that money is no longer the reason for doing it. Sunday might include a call with a business partner in another time zone, a review of a deal. Few hours of deep creative work that never felt possible when survival was the priority. Level 6 Sunday is freedom expressed as choice. Every hour accounted for by desire, not necessity. Level 7, generational wealth, 10 million Taki. Sunday is every day. At this level, the concept of Sunday loses its meaning because every day holds the same freedom that Sunday promises everyone else. There is no Monday looming, no job to prepare for, no alarm set by obligation. The Sunday at level 7 could be anywhere in the world. The home you wake up in might be one of several. The people serving breakfast may be staff you employ. The calendar for the day was set entirely by you and no one else. But here is the truth that no one tells you about level 7. The Sundays here are not automatically the happiest. The people who built to this level, who remember, level 1 and level 2, often describe a specific kind of quiet that comes with total financial freedom. A stillness that takes years to learn to sit with. Without the structure of financial necessity, purpose must be invented. Meaning must be constructed deliberately. The most fulfilled people at level 7 are the ones who never stopped building something. Not for money, for legacy. Their Sunday is spent on what they want the world to look like after they're gone. So which Sunday are you living right now? Be honest, not about the number in your account, about how Sunday actually feels when you wake up. Because Sunday is the most honest financial report you'll ever see. It doesn't lie. It doesn't dress things up. It just shows you, quietly, every week in exactly where you stand and exactly how much freedom you've built. The goal isn't a bigger number. The goal is a different Sunday. One where the dread is gone. Where the options are real. Where the day belongs entirely, completely, and permanently to you. That Sunday is built on weekdays. On decisions. On consistency applied long enough that compounding does what it always does. It's available to you. But it starts today, not next Sunday. Today.